Hey guys, my name is Jesse Davis. I'm from Southeast Kansas, and I'm going to share with you guys my Kansas 22 season. October 18th, Southeast Kansas. It is October 24th. I'm in Southeast Kansas today. Are you freaking kidding me? Dude, he is heavy. It's a short one, so I hope you guys still enjoy it and get to watch the video and, enjoy as much as I did for all 4 hunts that I had. I'm going to rewind a little bit to earlier in the year. I don't know the exact month this happened, but I got invited to a wedding up in northeastern Missouri by a friend of mine. And I'd never met this guy a day in my life, actually. We were friends on Instagram. We had a couple mutual friends. We Snapchatted all the time. We both do food plot work for a living, land management stuff. And we just got along great. And he invited me to his wedding. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. So go up to this wedding up in Northeast Missouri, me and my girlfriend, and just had time of my life. I met some really, really great guys up there that are now some of my best friends. And I met someone in particular, Brandon Quat, and me and Brandon were chatting all night, and he's like, "Hey, dude, why don't you film your hunts?" I was like, I just never really gotten into it. I have a friend of mine that takes pictures with stuff that I kill, and he'll go with me every once in a while, and we'll film a turkey or something like that. But deer hunting's always been a solo thing for me. Take it pretty seriously, and it's just me up there. He's like, dude, you should just self-film. And I was like, I don't know if I want to spend the money. It's real expensive. And he had the idea that I should use my iPhone. I was like, really? And he was all behind it. So we'll fast forward now. My birthday in September. My girlfriend bought me a 4th Arrow camera arm. It just has the little iPhone mount on it. That's all it was. And I'm like, cool, I guess I'm gonna try this. So they got me all juiced up. We're all in a group chat, so we're all talking about it. And I'm asking them how you do everything, And I mean, I've seen a billion hunting shows, but when it comes down to actually filming something, I was just lost. So we'll start now with my deer season. I had gained permission on like a 70-acre piece in Kansas that had a mega giant on it, and I ended up losing that piece of property, and I had to start from ground zero. Had a little 16-acre piece that I went and put a cell cam on and put some feed out, and just waited. And first couple pictures I got were of a really heavy 10-point, some big old eye guards, and he really caught my eye, especially in velvet. And you never know how much they're going to lose after they shed, so I didn't put too much thought into it. But in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, there's a nice buck in there. And the only picture that I really had of him that was super clear, it was on a really cheap camera, was it was like he was walking past the camera and it caught like the back side of him. So it just showed how heavy his mass was and a little bit of what he had going on. But I didn't settle, and I was scouting public land. I was calling landowners all over the state willing to travel wherever to hunt, and I just was not having any luck at all. And I was all bummed out about this, and I was thinking, well, maybe you'll catch a rut buck. Maybe you'll catch a rut buck in November that comes off of a neighbor on a public piece, or maybe you'll stumble into some permission ground, or you'll network enough that somebody will be like, hey, yeah, I got a place to hunt, and it just never really happened. So started getting pictures of that deer more frequently throughout the month of September, and I was like, yeah, this is something I would potentially be after. And he shed his velvet, and after he shed his velvet, I only had one picture of him, and I think it was the 23rd of September. And I was like, no, either it wasn't a flattering angle or he was a small deer. It just wasn't what I was after. Well, kicking gear another 15 days now, and it's like October 15th, and I wake up to a cell camera picture of this really nice 10-point. Huge long eye guards, and he's real tall. He's not very wide, but he's super heavy in mass, and he's got a little point coming off of his main beam. I guess he's technically an 11. Well, I'm working and trying to focus on all of that, and we're all at the office one day, and I guess it would have been the 24th. October 24th, we're all at the office one day. It's pouring down rain. We have this huge front come in, and this deer's been daylight that I'm telling you guys about. He's been daylight the last several days leading up to this front. And everybody at the office is like, why don't you go hunt that deer? They're like, that's a nice deer. And I was, not to take anything away from him, but I just wasn't really sure if that was what I wanted to go after this early in the year, because he is a great deer. But I was just torn on what to do. And I'm sitting there in the office, I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm scrolling onX, I'm looking all around, and, you know, my mind's just in a big ball of what do I do next. And I go over to the Weather Channel, and I'm looking for, you know, fronts coming in that might get some deer moving around. And I'm looking at that front today, and it was the right wind for, you know, where that deer had been showing up. And a friend of mine walks in the office, and he's like, you should go kill that buck, man. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to go try it tonight. Pouring down rain. There was a little break in the storm about 4 to 7 p.m. that I could try and catch a hunt in. And I told him before I left the office, I was like, man, I think I'm only going to shoot this deer if I can get it all on film. And I've never done it before. So kind of hard to make the comparison there. Hey guys, it is October 24th. I'm in southeast Kansas today. Headed out to hunt tonight. We had a big storm blow through today. This morning it's been raining since about 4 a.m. Just starting to let up. So we're gonna see if the deer are on their feet moving and see if we can't get an arrow on one side. Here I am. I park. I go in that night. And I get up in there. It's my first year hunting out of a saddle as well, which worked out perfect in this scenario. So I'm up in the tree. I am just getting pounded on by rain, just obliterated. And I laughed to myself in the tree. You know, I wanted to pull my phone out and, you know, look and see when the storm was passing, but it's raining so hard that I can't even pull my phone out. And I laughed to myself, and I'm like, what are you doing right now? Are you literally crazy? Like, there's lightning cracking in the distance. So I just sit there and, you know, I kind of chuckled about it. I was upset at first, and then I chuckled about it, and I was like, you know what? You're out hunting, man. You're doing what you love. So be it. So I'm sitting there, and I have, it's pouring down rain, and I look to my left, and through this grown-up cattle pasture, these two spikes stand up, and they're sparring at each other, you know, 85 yards away. And I had noticed on the trail camera that this one spike in particular, he almost forked at the top on his right side. Every time that buck, the big one that I was in there after, was in front of that camera, so was that little forked spike. Well, they kind of walked off to the south, and I'm sitting there looking around, and, you know, it's raining. I can't hear nothing. I couldn't hear a deer walking right below me. And boom, I look up, and there's both these spikes. They're sitting there eating. And they ate for a minute, and, you know, I'm kind of trying to stay behind the tree. We've lost a lot of our leaves at this point. And all of a sudden, they acted like they got my wind. They shouldn't have, but they acted like they got my wind, and they both jumped, and they ran 15 yards. They stopped and just looked back my direction. They never blew, never threw their tail up in the air, nothing. Well, they were walking back towards where I knew the bedding was at, and I knew if they walked back over towards that bedding and the big one was in there, and they were alert that he probably wasn't going to come in. So I grabbed my grunt call, and I made the game time decision that I was just going to let out a big roar on my grunt call. And, you know, if he hears that and they're coming towards him kind of spooked, maybe he'll think that somebody else is in his territory. This piece is only 16 acres. And when I say it's only 16 acres, this is 16 acres that has no connecting timber. It is like an island of 16 acres. Like, you have to slip, you got to go underneath a bridge, through a creek to even get into this place. So I let out this roar in my grunt call, and I'm sitting there, put it back in my bag, and, you know, it's pouring rain, so I stuffed my hands in my pocket and kind of leaned back in my saddle, and I look over to where those two were at, and there he is. He stands right up out of his bed. Somehow my eyes make contact in the distance right where he was bedding, and I watch him just get up off of all fours. I don't know how he couldn't see me in the tree. 80 yards away, and boom, he started walking straight towards me. Ears pinned forward, and I'm like, oh, this is happening. Well, I got my camera arm on the tree. I don't even have I have two phones, my work phone, my personal phone. I don't even have my work phone in the camera arm recording. So I'm scrambling, trying to get it out of my pocket, and I get it in there, and he's at like 35 yards at this point, and I get it rolling, and I get it, pointed over towards him, and he's walking in. Are you freaking kidding me? Dude, I am so jacked up right now. Oh my God. Holy cow. Just happened, boys. Dang. October 24th. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my gosh. Woo! I don't think, oh my gosh. That's a big buck. That is a big deer. Oh my gosh. Whew. So I buried that pin right behind his shoulder, and I felt my release click, and I started pulling backwards, and boom, shot went off, smacked him. It was perfect. It just absolutely drilled him, and I am like in shock right now. I'm like, you're filming with an iPhone. You've never done this before. You just got this on film. Like, this just happened at like 15 yards. So I watch him barrel off, and I'm so juiced up. He's running through all these saplings. I'm so juiced up that, I watched the knock disappear through there, and I can still kind of see him running, and I lose sight of him after 50 yards. So I didn't hear him fall or anything, but immediately pull my phone out. I call my girlfriend, and I'm like, hey, I just shot him. And she's like, what? Yeah, I just got him. So I'm sitting there, and I send all the boys a Snapchat bingo. That's code name during deer season. If somebody says bingo in the group chat, somebody's got an arrow in one. And I'm sitting there waiting like 3 or 4 minutes, and nothing. No one's answering it. And I'm just so excited up there in the tree. Like, this just happened at 15 yards. And finally, I hop back in our group chat, and in all caps, I said, I am saying bingo, and nobody is replying to me. Because, like, several of them had opened it, but, like, didn't reply. And then everybody's blowing me up, and they're like, no way, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, got an arrow aim, this and that. Told them what deer. And a called my boss because I'm gonna need some help dragging him out of this place because it is a monster. It's gonna be a monster to drag a deer out of this place. So he's like, it's raining hard, you know, go check for blood like ASAP, make sure it doesn't get washed away. If you think you got real good blood, you know, see if you can trail it. And I'm like, okay, so climb down, let my bow down, climb down, and walk over to where I shot him, and there's just huge piles of blood. And I mean, it is pouring down rain. And anybody that's ever killed one in the rain, you know that when you hit one, that blood goes away pretty quick. I mean, I drilled this deer so good that the rain wasn't washing his blood away, you know? I mean, just pools of blood. And I was super excited. So I called him back and I was like, hey, this deer's dead. You know, there's no way he made it over 100 yards. I'm going to back out of here just so I don't bump him. If he is alive for any chance. If he was dead, we were going to find him in the 16 acres, no problem. So back out and, you know, get him, and we walk back in there a little bit later, about an hour later, and we got a good light at that point.
I'll try. Pumping out both sides now. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Right here. So here they have down this. Yeah, there's some. There's some.
Hey, bud.
What?
Straight ahead of you.
Where? Oh, no. There he is, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. He's not bad at all.
Yes, sir.
Dude, he is heavy.
Heavy, heavy. Turn him.
This?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he is really heavy.
Get behind him.
Huh?
So get over behind him.
Let's go. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
He is cool. Look at them eye guards. Those are way longer than I thought they were, and they're bladed.
Look at the mass on his base.
I know. Dude,
Carries
he's
it all the way
solid.
up to his brows.
Uh-huh. Dude, he is solid. Heck yeah.
You smoked him.
Yeah, right in the pump house. Right in the pump house. Alright, let's get him hauled out of here, I guess.
Look at that.
It was a sense of relief, a sense of, you know, gratefulness and like humbling that you know, you can be so bummed out and not. I just wasn't in it after losing that property, and you know, thinking that I didn't have a great place to hunt and this and that, and I was just so happy that, you know, I got it on film like I set out to do this year, at 10 to 15 yards, and I made a great shot on him. It was a great animal. He has 152-inch rack, you know, a great deer, super great deer, and I was just so humbled at that moment that I let out a few tears and, you know, put my hands around him, and, you know, it was time to drag him out. You know, it was time to take care of him. That was a really rewarding feeling. So we got him out of there and got him processed, or got some pictures taken of him, and got him processed, and, you know, took him to the taxidermist, and they actually let me have my skull cap back. This is him right here. Ooh, I lost a shed. This is him right here. Great deer, as you guys can tell. super tight, but he had, you know, great eye guards on him and great mask. He just carries his mask so well. And this little inside point here, or maybe that's called an outside point. I don't really know. But I'm really humbled. Sad to have closed my Kansas season so early because, you know, as a whitetail hunter, this is what we live for. We live for the month of November and, you know, chasing these rutting bucks. So made the game time decision with a couple of my buddies. I'm going to head to Illinois next week, and hopefully I can bring you guys along with me to that trip, and, you know, maybe we can get something down. And if not, it's just gonna be great getting to see, you know, Brandon and Caleb and, you know, hanging out with everybody, meeting their families that I didn't get to meet at the wedding, and, you know, just really getting to know them, really getting to know what I consider my best friends even better. So I'm just really thankful for the 22 season, and it's not done yet, but this season's been awesome and it's great, and hope you guys enjoy my video. So take care. Thanks.